What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package and infrastructure update and daily news report. We actually have some very big news today. We actually have some new updates regarding a new possible $1,000 check. We also have some major updates regarding the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill and what one senator says he will currently oppose and will support. So we'll get to all that in just a minute. First off, hopefully you guys are having an incredible day. But let's get into the update. The other day I mentioned how the White House was concerned over what Senator Joe Manchin was saying regarding the $3.5 trillion bill, that he wanted to see a strategic pause. Well, according to the reports, the White House was not too worried about this simply because of the fact that Joe Manchin just wanted a strategic pause. However, according to the White House this morning, they are a little bit more concerned today than they were yesterday. Here's the reason why. According to multiple reports late last night, Senator Joe Manchin says he will support between $1 and $1.5 trillion in new spending. This is new spending, okay? Now, here's what you need to understand. According to reports, Senator Bernie Sanders initially wanted a $6 trillion infrastructure bill, which then he compromised with himself and with the White House and President Biden, and they passed and pushed forward with a $3.5 trillion bill. Well, now Senator Joe Manchin wants to cut that in half again. So instead of $6 trillion, instead of $3.5 trillion, Joe Manchin is pushing for between $1 and $1.5 trillion. That's it. According to reports, that is all he is willing to support. Now, according to one White House aide, they're saying that Joe Manchin is opposed to universal preschool. He doesn't believe free community college should be included in this infrastructure bill. He is also concerned over the $400 billion for home caregivers. The talks as of right now, and this is looking likely, it's going to be anywhere between $150 to $250 billion. They're going to cut about they're going to cut from $400 billion down to at least $250, if not all the way to $150 billion. That's going to be a drastic change. Joe Manchin is also against expanding Medicare like it is currently being discussed, and he just doesn't support that. And again, if you're not sure what that means, Medicare is being discussed between dropping it from the age of 65. The new eligibility will be 60, so about 23 million Americans would be eligible for this after that. And it would include vision, dental, and hearing. And I got reports there, okay? I got some reports on that in just a minute. That has to do with this possible $1,000 check. Now, as for the child tax credits, according to reports, Senator Joe Manchin wants people to qualify for these tax credits by working. You have to qualify. You do not just go and get this free money if you're not working. He wants to make sure that, just like many other benefits that we have, you have to work in order to get it. That's the key. And there's Republicans, they agree with that. Many moderates also agree with Senator Joe Manchin's statement that yes, we need to see that people are qualifying for this benefit. It's not just something every single person can receive. Joe Manchin also says he wants to see this new spending bill. He wants to see that 100% of this is paid for by new revenue. He does not want to see the Democrats come out and come up with this fancy new math that will explain how what they have done in the past will pay for what is going to be passed in the future. He doesn't want to see that. It has to be new revenue. So again, we'll see what happens there. But things are starting to come down to the wire, and it's not looking great right now. Now, the biggest issue right now between Democrats, and really it's the fights within Democrats and within the party. Senator Joe Manchin wants a bill about $1.5 trillion. Okay? Senator Bernie Sanders wanted a $6 trillion bill, but then compromised to 3.5. So there's still a $2 trillion difference between 1.5 and 3.5. Senator Bernie Sanders said he would not support anything under $3 trillion. And Senator Joe Manchin, originally we were expecting he was going to be about $2 trillion because that's what the reports were telling us. But now it's even worse than we thought. He only wants to see $1.5 trillion. So, big difference. And according to President Biden, at least this morning, he says he's not too worried right now. He says, and I quote, "Joe at the end has always been there. He's always been with me. I think we can work something out. I look forward to speaking with him." That's what he said. So I hope that they can come to some agreement because right now they are just too far apart. $2 trillion apart. That's huge. That's insane. But here's some of the good news. They are talking about, yes, they are going to lower the eligibility age for Medicare. That's one of the good things. They're also going to provide funding for vision, dental, and hearing. That's another good thing. Here's the other issue. They don't know exactly how they're going to pay for that. Chances are it's going to be some form of new revenue, but it's also going to be in savings from the Medicare program. What they're looking at right now is allowing Medicare to negotiate prices from the manufacturers, and that would save them billions and billions of dollars, which would provide the funding for the 23 million additional Americans that would be getting Medicare, but it also provide money for vision, dental, and hearing as well. But here's where things get interesting. They are discussing between $600 and $1,000 checks to the American people for vision, dental, and hearing. This would be in the form of sending seniors vouchers, a voucher for $600 to $1,000, and that's about the range they're looking at. Now, I want to be very clear. This is going to go to pay for dental, vision, and hearing. If you need, dentures, take this. It would actually be in the form of a debit card. Okay, it would be a debit card that you can go and use for dentures. You can go and use this for glasses. You can go and use this for a hearing aid, and this would come every single year between $600 and $1,000. Now, you're probably thinking that's not enough for glasses, dentures, and hearing aids. And you're right. You are right that between $600 and $1,000 is not enough for that. However, the reason for this, the reason for sending out a voucher to seniors is because right now more senators support sending this out. Okay, sending out between $600 to $1,000 as opposed to just giving free dental, vision, and hearing to every single person that is on Medicare. And they also say, just by providing free dental, vision, and hearing, this was never going to work. And the reason why this was never going to work is because it was going to take too long to implement. Now, when we went through the Affordable Cares Act, the Obamacare, it took about 4 years. I think it was like 4 to 5 years to implement all of this into the system. Well, Democrats are saying the exact same thing, that the American people need to get help today, that seniors are long overdue with additional assistance. They need help today. One of the ways they're going to do that is with this stopgap. It's more like a stopgap bill where they're going to provide these vouchers or debit cards with $600 to $1,000 on it so they can start using that and utilizing those funds today, as opposed to waiting for these programs to actually be implemented. Here's what we know. Right now, according to the reports, the checks are going to come through a debit card simply because they'll be faster. They'll be faster, they'll be more secure. I don't know how they're more secure, but they say they will be more secure. So it would be a debit card. According to the House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal, he actually put out the text of this bill. Okay, he put out the text, kind of the finalized text, but he says these benefits wouldn't actually be phased into the Medicare system fully until 2028. Now, the statement that he made, this release that he put out this text, this wasn't backed by the Senate Democrats, and the White House had no idea. So this wasn't approved by everybody. This was just something that the House Ways and Means Committee put together. But he says vision, that could start in 2022. So that's good news there. He says hearing, that would begin actually in 2023. But as far as dental, that would be much more complicated, and that would take until 2028 to be fully implemented into their system. So, again, the White House and Senate Democrats, they had no idea. They never signed off on this. But this is what they're looking at. Between $600 to $1,000, you'd get this every single year. And one of the nice things about a debit card is you would actually be re-upped every single year. I do not know if it would be January 1st every single year, but every single year you would get re-upped that additional $600 to $1,000. And you can go and buy new glasses, dentures, or you can go and get hearing aids or things like that. So that's good news there. They are going to move forward with that. So this does look like it will be included. Senator Joe Manchin, he doesn't really support all of this. However, there's a lot of stuff he doesn't support. So we're going to see what happens there. One thing I can tell you though, and this is where things are looking pretty frustrating, is right now, if they cut this bill, if they cut the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, there will be no stimulus checks. There will be no checks. Okay? Just want to be 100% clear. Stimulus checks were having a difficult time being put into that $3.5 trillion bill package, simply because Democrats still want to see every single American, the 150 plus million people that receive the $1,400 stimulus checks, they want to see those people get an additional stimulus check as well. Chance are it would be between $1,000 and $2,000. Let's just say it's an additional $1,000. You're still looking at probably about $300 billion in additional funding that would be needed. And according to multiple Democrats, they want to fully fund this bill in order to pass it. Well, to fully fund $300 billion is going to be a difficult task, even when they're going to try to do $3.5 trillion. But at the same time, this is money that's going to be put back into the economy. This is something that this is money that we'd see go back into the economy sooner and faster, and it would help us grow and get back to where we once were. But at the same time, many moderates say no. They don't want to use deficit spending. They don't want to use future projections. They want to see actual, money. They want to see a revenue increase. That's what they want to see. They want to see savings. They want to see where is this money coming from, and not just future projections. That's not what they want. So we're going to see what happens there. I still believe we're going to see some form of stimulus and possibly a stimulus check. But again, as what it's going to look like now, we just don't know. But let's get into some of the news regarding the economy, because right now, many economists are excited for what they are seeing. This is good news. This is a bit of a change from what we've been seeing lately. They say people will be hired back at record rates, wages are going to shoot up, and the unemployment rate will drop significantly over the next couple of months. All good things, right? Well, while all this stuff could easily happen, economists also predict inflation will skyrocket if all these things happen at once. So like I said, all these things, very good. But all these things at once, not so great, according to multiple economists. They say we need to be cautious over how quickly we bring jobs back. They say that too many people working when consumers are not spending, this will just cause businesses to rehire all these employees, then just to see they have to lay them off because the employees cannot work due to the limited demand of their business. That's not great news. The good news, though, is that all employees or all employers right now that are hiring people back at a higher wage, which means they're going to be paid more. The problem there is if every single person in the United States starts getting paid more, chances are we're going to see inflation. But again, we have to see inflation in the short term. And according to experts, they say this is a good thing long term. However, we will see inflation short term. We just have to weather through that storm. I don't like to weather through a storm. However, I do understand, yes, we will see short-term inflation. Things will get back to normal. However, we don't know how long that's going to take, and we're already seeing inflation concerns across the economy in multiple other ways. So that's not great news there either. Now news. What we're hearing is that children now make up about 25% of the new cases. This is not great news because children cannot get vaccinated. However, they say in the past week we have seen about 252,000 children test positive. Some experts worry that schools should have went to a remote learning system once again in order to be able to better control this spread. But at the same time, many education experts are worried that by going remote, this would actually hurt a child's education in the future. So, you know, we got stories that go back and forth. Should we go remote learning? Should we stay do an in-person school? There's a lot of conflicting reports. But what I can tell you, yes, it does. Children can test positive. However, it doesn't affect them as much. Okay, the death rate for children is very low. I'm not saying that this is, oh, let's just push our children out there. I personally don't. Okay, my 2-year-old, I don't even take him into stores. I don't take him into stores. Honestly, don't. I don't take him around people that aren't or have been traveling for a while. I don't take him around people like that. Okay, that's just me because I'm very protective of him. So, just again, when I say, yes, the hospitalization rate for children is very low, the death rate is very low, any percentage, for me as a parent, I take that with I'm very concerned. Even if it was 0.1%, that 0.1% is still too high. Now again, I don't like that. I don't like that. You're more likely to get in a car accident. I'm not big with those numbers, but what I can tell you is I protect my kids. I protect my kids the way I think I should. So you guys do whatever you need to do. If you want to get one of your children when it's time, go and do it. If you don't, I completely understand. These are your children. This is your life. Okay? It's your responsibility. So I just want to leave you with that. But yes, children are testing positive. They are spreading. Okay? Children, they do touch things. They do touch things, put their hands in their mouth. Yes, that is something that they do. Just understand that's just the way children are. So we got some stuff that we got to work out. We got some stuff that we need to figure out. But again, it's going to take some time. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll be back on here to share all the news and any recent updates that we get. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. See you guys on the next one. See you guys on the next